Breeze Nation, what's good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. We are at the last day of training camp, and the Chicago Bears defense looks like it might be a little bit formidable heading into this season. We got to talk about that. The young fella Gervon Dexter coming out and being able to dominate. And then finally, are they going to add a little D-line help? There's still some names out there that the Bears could go after. Are there some players that the Bears should be interested? We'll talk about all that and more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel to talk Chicago sports, High Chicago Talk. So make sure you stay in tune with us, man. Kid is in the building. And we also got the super producer, Joel Holt.
What's happening?
Chilling in the back. Always good to see the family in the building, handling family business. Boys, training camp has come to a close, and it looks like we got a defense. I'm not going to lie to you. I was very excited by what I saw from this Bears defense today. Ton of pressure, ton of time in the backfield. Did a great job. Our DB room looks absolutely phenomenal. I feel like we've got some weapons that we can count on defense to just go out there and do their job, and that excites me. With the additions that you guys have heard, with what we've seen at training camp so far, what's your expectations for this defense this season? Because coming out and seeing them dominate today, it really got me excited about what this defense can be, and I think that there's multiple levels, when healthy, that they can go to.
Well, to me, that was a quick fix. If it works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still early. I think they're probably still another piece or two from being able to really like dominate whatever the full vision is for this team. But just to get, or is it Yannick? No, it's Yannick.
Unique Ngakwe.
Yeah. So to get him.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's unique. Yeah.
He's so, I'm encouraged.
Yeah, it's unique, kid.
No. Now, see, people get famous and start trying to change their names and stuff.
Well,
like that.
here's the thing.
I think Kobe Cockburn is now Coburn. All right, it's definitely Cockburn. All right, I ain't trying to hear that.
I think with him, he was African, and everybody was just like Yannick, and he was like, "Do whatever makes you happy." And then finally, his mama got in his ear and was like, "Correct your name before I hurt you."
Who was that? what quarterback was that? The quarterback.
Black quarterback.
What was the quarterback on? I think it was on the Bills, and then he was on the Chargers.
Tyrod Taylor.
There you go.
Oh, his name is Tyrod now.
Remember? Yeah.
Oh, it's gross.
It was Tyrod forever.
His name is Tyrod. I'm going Tyrod Taylor. His mama called him Tyrod. I'm calling him Tyrod.
It's Tyrod.
Tyrod. Get out of here, bro. That's like Leroy Butler. Man, you was Leroy our whole life. You got that big contract. Now you Leroy. Get out of here. No, man. I'm really.
Like how they changed Young Ho Koo's name.
some Young Ho.
It was Young Ho on the back of his jersey for a whole season. Now it's just cool.
It's just cool. No, well, they do their names the other way around. Like Yao Ming's name was Ming Yao. That's why Yao was on the back.
That's true.
So his name is technically Koo Young Ho, but you don't want to say that on the broadcast. Yeah, I mean, like that really was his name. But at the end of the day.
I gotta love it, man.
Who was that? He was a Koo Young Ho, man. But yeah, who you was kicking it with? Man, it's Koo Young Ho. But I just, to me, I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing from this defense. I'm encouraged by the intensity that they come out with at practice with. It looks like right now the defense is a step ahead of the offense, and that's not a bad thing at this point, right? That's why we're in preseason. That's why we're getting ready to go into, a lot of these different, going into these preseason games with a lot of different setups and stuff for the offense to be able to refine it. It's why Matt Eberflus realistically is playing his starters in preseason games in the beginning that are basically meaningless, so that they can figure out kind of how things look versus a team that's basically not you to run into. But it was good to see them dominate this last practice today, man. And they came out and they did their thing today.
Yeah, I mean, but the defense is always ahead of the offense. I mean, that's pretty standard. So the fact is, if they got enough guys where we talked about this if it's possibly a top 15 defense. So the biggest thing is if they might make a big jump if our rookies are doing well. So that's exciting to know.
And that was one of the best things about having Zach Pickens on the show to me. Like getting an opportunity to talk to him over on the Chicago Bears podcast, just getting to know him and getting to know kind of what the fire is, what he's going to be able to go out there and do, what he feels like he brings. He talked about one of the most important things that I think is under talked about, right? It's not just getting to the quarterback. That's great, right? If you can get to the quarterback every play, I love it. But he talked about preparing himself as a nose and being able to dent that pocket on every play. If you're able to dent that pocket, that causes so much havoc. All of a sudden, you start to see guys going the other way, quarterbacks trying to move out of the way, get away. Now you've got a guy like Unique Ngakoue who's able to get to the quarterback because he's being flushed into him because that pocket is starting to dent. That's going to put the Bears in a lot of good positions defensively. It's going to make a lot of quarterbacks make dumb decisions. So, like you said, Joel, just really excited to see what this rookie class is going to be able to do.
Yeah.
Unique.
You still on the Unique Ngakoue thing?
It's not even remotely spelt like Unique,
bro. It's African, bro.
Mama call him Clay. I'ma call him Clay.
Yeah, I mean, like,
fam. No, heck no. Normally there's like a QUE in that joint. This is Yannick. This is YAN.
Hey, my boy. Listen, I'm saying his name how he say his name.
Hey, you know what? No disrespect, my boy. I'm just letting you know that don't look nothing like Unique. But if that's what you want us to call you, your name's Unique. Anyway, I'm just saying it don't look nothing like it. Anyway, I just can't wait to see what we actually look like on Saturday now. I'm happy to hear that the starters are going to play. Did you get any sense of how long they were going to play? It's normally just like the first half or first half or first quarter. What we doing?
Basically, he said that Matt Eberflus literally said, it depends on who the player is, what you're going to see from the player, what your expectations are on the player and where they are at this point in the season. But you're not going to see much out of these guys. You're going to see one deep shot out of Justin Fields. He's going to try to hit DJ Moore over the top. It might work. It might not. If it doesn't work, then you're going to see Justin Fields hand the ball off 3 times and go sit down.
Yep. You're not going to get that. It's the if it's only 3 games now, that means the second game is we're going to see something.
Yeah, pretty much. The second game is the one, and I think more so from the practice in that second game, right? I think you get more. I was talking to Tommy Waddle about this today on the Chicago Bears pod, and he basically said, you get more. Oh, my bad. I got a foul. I was talking to Tommy Waddle on that, and he was basically saying that you end up getting more in the joint practice. Because you get to actually work on things. Teams are actually game planning for what you're trying to do. You're going at it more so then, and you're going to get more of Justin Fields versus another defense than you're going to get in that game, because in that game, realistically, you're still only getting maybe a quarter and a half, 2 quarters of guys going out there and doing something for real. And at a minimum with the joint practice, at least you get more time in that. You get, the week pretty much to go down there and see, okay, how does this team look against the opposing defense? And a Colts defense that still has, names-ish on it. So we'll get to see kind of what a different names-ish. I mean, we got a big name off of their defense on our team right now, but we'll get to see kind of what our offensive line looks like against an opposing defense for more than just the day when you're game planning versus that opposing defense. That's why these joint practices, to me, are important.
And there you have it, homeboy.
You were so excited. Y'all can't.
He's so ready to hit that one.
Y'all can't.
He was ready to hit that
one. Y'all can't see him like behind and everything. He was just like, I got to get to the soundboard. I gotta get there.
Since we're talking about the defense, so I got to pose this question: do we officially have the best defense in the division?
I mean, here's the tough part about it, right? I think the Lions' defense is better. Which is saying a lot. And the Lions have probably the best defensive line in the division right now. The Vikings defense should be better, but we haven't seen it. Right? Ton of first round picks.
I think the Vikings defense is aged out. Like they already hit their
I'm sorry, I meant to say Vikings. Packers defense, I should say, should be better. Ton of first round picks on that defense.
Yeah, they've been
ton of guys, and they just haven't been able to get it together. The Vikings defense is heading the other way. So for me, right, like
Bro,
Yeah.
them practices been looking trash, bro.
Hey,
excited
about.
God.
I mean, you got to get excited about something, right? And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Bears offense has looked phenomenal every single day. I feel like they are trying to add a lot of new things in at once, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, my God, they looked phenomenal every day. But
phenomenally,
at least there's been days where they did look good. Because that Packers defense has had some, or offense has had some horrible days. Yeah, I mean, which is great to see. I love it. I appreciate it, man. Hit that like button if you hit that like button. Drop a FGB. Appreciate y'all for showing love out here, man. But no,
I ain't seen a offense, or I ain't seen a group of grown men look so defeated before the season started a day in my life like that. They look beat before the season started.
You didn't watch Bears training camp last season.
Bears,
And there you have it, homeboy.
We came into that mug with Byron Pringle and Equinamia St. Brown.
Yeah, wow, man. Yeah, wow.
I mean, it's just no. I like what his defense is heading. I really feel good about it. And to answer your question, yeah, I think that's a good question. Like, do the Bears have the best defense in the division right now? Now, of course, you got to see it on the field, but to me, on paper, now is it a defense that's signed long term? No, but I like what we're getting from Zach Pickens to this point. I think Andrew Billings is a majorly underrated signing. DeMarcus Walker's got to get himself back healthy, and there's a lot of people who were not at camp today dealing with some sort of injury and not injury, but little nick up. We'll call it that. Guys that didn't practice today: Chase Claypool, Nate Davis, Jaquan Brisker, Tremaine Edmonds, DeMarcus Walker, Terrell Smith, Lucas Patrick, Travis Homer, Nathan Peterman, who cares? Dylan Cole and Josh Blackwell all did not practice today. So it'll be, for me, seeing the guys out there without even the starters being able to create pressure, create havoc, get through. It does excite me a little bit because it's not just this stalemate of garbage.
Well,
still a piece of garbage.
I think the defense really has never ever been a problem for like Chicago. We've been able to always build a defense. The problem is, will this offensive line actually hold up? The problem is, can we keep the defense fresh, right? If the defense always dominates, that's always been the problem. If the offense can just sustain drives, can we have some running drives? Can we just complete on third down conversions? All those type of things to keep the defense healthy and fresh. This might be where we have a balanced team that can actually, maybe the offense wins games and the defense. Last year, the defense just needed enough to help the offense win. And this might be a balanced team, but if the offensive line isn't doing well, I mean, we only go as far as we can.
Well, I think there's now the one thing that has been bad on the offensive side of the football, and there's no way to hide.
Here we go.
These guys have been jumping, and they're working in new snap counts. They're working in different things to try and throw guys off. It has been, to me, more the younger guys jumping. Braxton Jones in year 2, Darnell Wright in year 1, rookie year here. It to me has been those guys that are doing a lot of the jumping, but there's some bonehead things that are happening. A couple of times today, guys just lined up off sides. It's like, look downhill at the ball. Like there's little things that's what this time of year is for. I'm not sitting here saying that, oh my God, I'm so concerned about this. How are we going to be able to bounce back from this? Like, I'm not saying that in the slightest, but there are the little things that you would think you at this point, finishing up training camp, have a little bit more worked out to me, and they haven't worked out. There's still kinks in this offense. And so, there's the hope that there's going to be more from this team on the offensive line, and a major hole that's still there. Like I said, top of that list, Nate Davis. Nate Davis still has not been able to build that continuity. Now, I think he'll be able to go out there and make plays, and I know he's a veteran. Everybody's telling me you don't got to worry about a guy like Nate Davis. He's a vet. He's going to get the job done, but you still got to build that continuity up. This is the offensive line. It's not the wide receiver core where I can just go out there and just catch.
Well, I think it goes to show that it takes you 3 years, if not 4, to build a team. So I'm not going to say I was all warm and tingly and fuzzy inside when we got a little
tingly.
No, not really. No,
little
wasn't
tingle?
that no, I didn't. Not a sensation.
Oh, that was from the other thing. Never mind.
Yeah, that was.
Whoa, what are we talking
no, but
about
I
right
think
now?
that his O line, it's going to take a while. Like them drafting old boy that we got this year, he's probably number 1 or 2. I mean, Tevin Jenkins, hopefully with the injury, but we still need 5 solid guys. So
Yeah.
I feel that we're still waiting for this team to fully be complete. So I just think that hopefully they scheme for Justin Fields, that he's able to do some of what he's doing, some of the RPOs, running extended plays, and then he's able to, pass, get out of situations, because he's probably going to still be doing some of the same stuff he did last year.
Yeah.
I mean, all that getting out of the pocket, counter moving and stuff. I think that's what we're going to see.
I like Drew comment here, if you're on mine. It says training camp is for mistakes to happen. I love that they're making mistakes rather than lying to themselves and saying they're doing well. Bears offensive line is a real question mark. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. And you know what? Not just training camp, but you got preseason for us. We got 3 whole.
We got a ton of time.
We got a ton of time. Like no one's expecting them to come out the gate, 5-0 or something like that. Like we got some time to build this.
I think the thing is, like, to be honest, if
hot take, you gonna say 5-0?
No, what I'm gonna say is you got to go 1-0.
Yeah, no matter what coming out of this season, you do have to be 1-0.
1-0. If we don't look good against the Packers, then that's gonna set the barometer for the season. Like, we're supposed to beat them. Like the Packers have nothing to lose, because it's like, well, we're technically supposed to lose with Jordan Love, but no, we have to be 1-0, if not 2-0, before we get to Kansas City.
I think you should be now. That should be an expectation because of what you've added to this defense. Now it also depends on who's healthy to start the season off, different things like that. But that should be an expectation. That should be. I'm also going to say pressure. Yes, there's pressure. You're in the NFL. There's pressure everywhere you look. That should be an expectation heading into this season, because to me, that first week against the Packers, you should be able to go out there and dominate.
Rivalry week brings out a lot of different things from a team, and we all know that. I mean, the Bears have eked out a win or two against the Aaron Rodgers led Packers, and we were the weaker team. So I mean, he's 22-5 against them, so we got 5 wins.
Listen,
we got 5 wins. Dog.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's it.
Hey, I'm just saying we got 5 of them things over here now. Compared to the 22, it's a whole different story. But anyway, I'm just saying, like, if we were to lose the first game of the season, it would suck. But it's not like it's more how we lose than we lost, if that makes sense.
Nah, you should win that game.
I said, Carl, you better get him back.
You should be able to get him back. You should be able to get him back.
No. We need to win.
You should win that game. Like
we could get them back later in the season. I'm just saying we don't have to necessarily win that.
You have to win that game.
It's one of those games where I think of the Bears playing on now. Of course, right? You could lose that game. We could be the sky is falling, all of that. And then all of a sudden we go on and win the next 5 games, and it's not that bad. But realistically, to me, I think about that game where the Chicago Bears go out 2006. First game of the season, I believe, is versus Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers. Brett Favre gets sacked, I want to say 6 times in that game, but it was a revenge game off of the last game they played against the Packers the year before, where he kicked their butts. And the Bears were like, we shouldn't have lost that game. We feel like we're right there.
Right.
They start the next season with that win, and then they go on a string of wins. We start that season 8-1, but it started with that. Oh, we're confident that we can come out and beat the team that's been our bugaboo. You got to say that right. You got to say that right. And watch out for RG3 out here. The team has been our bugaboo for so long.
Yeah, but this is not Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. Like, we have to get out.
Hey, listen.
The point is,
I don't think so either, but let's pray to God we're right.
The point is that this division is wide open. I think that this is now the chance to be the class of the division. Like, the Lions are like teetering. Like, yeah, they're good. We like them. We're trying to get behind them, but really, Minnesota is, huh?
I liked what the Lions have done. I like the Lions.
Yeah, I mean they're a good team, but in terms of the class of the NFC North, this is our chance to do it. Now, mind you, we lost our biggest nemesis. I would have rather kicked that dude in the shin before he got out of Green Bay, and then we at least had some type of stamp on saying that no, we're taking over now. But
Man, I'm so happy we don't play the Jets this season.
Jets.
Hey,
Jets.
I said this, right? I said this is my dream scenario mixed with a nightmare scenario. The Chicago Bears go on a Philadelphia Eagles run out of nowhere, right? And they just like set the league on fire, find their way to the Super Bowl just to play Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl.
No.
I said, this is my dream night. Like, we made the Super Bowl.
That would be great.
What was he doing there?
No, I would rather we beat him. Like, that means so much when you can beat the bully.
No, dog. He got mind control over Debo.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you
It
this right
means
now.
more when it's true
I'm gonna tell you this
competition. You
right
can
now.
beat the best. Yes.
22-5.
It will feel 110%. It will feel better if we beat Aaron Rodgers to win a Super Bowl. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't care if I go up against the doggone Kansas City Chiefs and half the team has been eviscerated on the way to the Super Bowl. I'm not worried about beating the best. I just want to win the Super Bowl, bro. 1985, dog. 1985. I wasn't born yet.
Well, I'm just saying we want to.
I wasn't either. Jesus.
Yeah, you guys.
So how old were you in 1985?
Stop. Why we guys my
Joe, how old were you in 85? Were you 47 or 25?
No, he early 40s.
Was,
what was you, 5,
6?
6? You 7.
I was 6.
Right.
Oh, you were 6. So you don't even remember it.
I do.
You just remember the house shaking.
I do.
And
I remember Harold Washington, and I remember the shirts, and I remember it was a good time.
You remember it. You remember it like I remember the last 3 finals.
I'm just saying, why you gotta minimize my memories?
I'm just saying, dog. Like it wasn't like you was like 6 years old. Like, man, I really like how Walter broke that backside.
No.
Like,
I'm
just existed.
No, I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie, but yes,
I believe it because I remember the last 3 finals for the Bulls.
It was hot.
I remember them. I watched them joints. My mom had us parked faithfully in front of that TV. We was glued. Jordan is on screen.
How old was you in the last 3 finals, though?
4, 5, and 6.
Last 3 finals was at 97. I was 18.
90. Yeah, the last one is 97.
Oh, last 3 is 98. No, I was 8. Last one I was 8.
Okay, well that makes
98.
sense as you remember that. That's when your memories start actually kicking in. You know that.
I remember I watching
that moment in life where you just become a conscious person out of nowhere. You just be, hey, I'm actually in this mug. Hold on now. That's usually around 8 years old. Hey, man, the one thing I will say about this defense that I do like, that does excite me the most, and we finally saw it today. We've been waiting on this from Flus, is we finally saw Gervon Dexter have himself a day. And that is the thing that I've been waiting on. I mean, he did everything the Bears needed him to do. He had what I would call, now here's the tough part. I'm saying they're sacks because when he got in the backfield, it looked like he would have sacked the quarterback. I also know that Justin Fields is back there. So, like, it probably isn't a sack on Justin Fields. But in my mind, right, if that's Kirk Cousins, sack.
Yeah.
If that's Jordan Love, sack. If that's Jared Goff, sack, right? So I was excited to see that. Had multiple tackles for loss. Caught a running back in the backfield. I think it was Deontay Foreman. Caught him in the backfield like on a – it was one of those where, like, I want to say it was a double handoff. Like, you fake the first one, go to the second option. And he just lit my man's up. Foul. Oh, my God. Geez, what? You didn't have to do that.
That's
Batted the ball down at the line. There was a ton that he did well today, and it was good to see that right before we get to the preseason game. And the one thing that a lot of people have talked about with him, that even Flus has talked about with him, has been the get off. He has struggled in training camp adjusting from a 2-gap system to a penetrating style to this point, and the get off's just been slow. Today it looked great. It looked crisp. He was hitting his holes the right way. Shout out to him. He was attacking downhill. He was pinning his ears back and just getting in the backfield. I thought that he looked really, really good today, and I think that he's a real asset to this team if he can continue to be that guy. Because remember, he was above Jalen Carter going into college.
Right.
He was the number one
right
defensive tackle going into college. And they sent him to that two-gap system. And all of a sudden, right, he wasn't the same player. Now he's back into that penetrating style. And slowly it feels like end of camp. I'll say from the beginning of camp where he was at to the end of camp, this feels like, okay, now I kind of get my cues. Now I get where I'm supposed to go. And the best part that I loved about it was today you saw Unique Ngakoue out there working with him. And after practice was over, and it just shows his dedication to getting better.
Correction, it's Yannick.
Hey, man.
Yannick. That's what someone in the chat said.
Hey, man. Listen, shout out to them.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
I was gonna say this, man.
I all I know is when I sat in the room and talked to him, he said Unique.
All right, well, there you go.
That's the one flex pack guy. I was in the room with him.
Right.
I want to be in the room where it happens.
And there you have it, homeboy.
The room where it happens. Nobody Hamilton. Nobody Hamilton.
Oh, you know, I know.
I was gonna say this.
I know it.
I feel that the blueprint to me of this cover 2 defense. I mean, it's Sapp, Derek Brooks, and why do I do this every time? The safety Lynch, right? Well, you got Tommy Harris, Urlacher, and Mike Brown.
Yeah.
So if we can get the nose tackle, the linebacker, it looks like Brisker. Is it TJ Edwards or is it
Tremaine Edmonds?
Tremaine Edmonds, and then they got Dexter. So is this the recipe for success? And then we got to round out that defensive line. Yeah. But I like it. I like where we're going. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. Actually, this first game, right?
Yeah, I think you'll get a ton of them in this first game because. I mean, he's still running with the twos. Your number one guys, right? Like, it was good to see him get there. Your number one guys are still Justin Jones and Andrew Billings. And Andrew Billings has been quiet as this kept. Andrew Billings is cooked all training camp. So I got to give him credit on that as well.
Like James Harden cooked, or like once in a lifetime Jeff Teague cooked.
I'm gonna go Jeff Teague.
No, I would say he's cooked like, it's a good name. Chris Bosh cooked, right? Where
that's a consistent cooking.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. No, right? It's not, oh my God, he killed a guy every play, but it's just every play you can call out his name. You can sit there and say, hey man, that guy, he's in the backfield. He's creating pressure. He's denting the pocket. He's attacking the run. He's doing something every play that you can feel confident about. So I'd go Chris Bosh cooked right there. Very consistent.
Well, the other thing too, though, is it's good to have multiple linemen so you can rotate. So
especially with how they playing it.
Yeah. So
hey, Flus out there doing hockey lineups, bro.
I mean, if let's just say these guys we got now are rated like an 80, 85 type of rating, and then Dexter turns into a Pro Bowler. I like having those guys as backups because when they can spell Dexter, and Pickens. So,
no, yeah, and I think that's the thing about this defense, right? Like, you're going to get a ton of a lot of these guys being able to go out there and get opportunities this season. It's not just going to be one guy doing something. It's not just going to be, okay, we've got Gervon Dexter on 4 downs on this one. You're going to see Justin Jones get rotated in, and then it's going to be, Ayo, come out, defense line going to run out. You're going to see Gervon Dexter get plenty of opportunities, depending on down and distance, depending on because Justin Jones and Andrew Billings, your run stoppers.
It's kind of like what was it? I just had his name in my head. When we had Tank Johnson, Mark Anderson came out of nowhere. Yeah. He became a good defensive end. It was Tank Johnson next to Tommy Harris.
Tank Johnson and Tommy Harris, yeah. Tank was nice, too. That whole defensive line, it was just like, man, if y'all could have just stayed healthy, bro.
Yeah. Well, we can blame the offense for that.
Yeah. Hey, man, if they could stop running us out there every third play.
Maybe if Tommy Harris wouldn't have ripped his hamstring off the bone.
Speaking of hamstrings, what's happening with your boy Chase? Is he all right?
Chase was still out today. Nothing new on Chase. He was still out. They're not going to tell us anything, basically, because they don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, that's realistically what it is. So Chase is still out today. Was on the sidelines. Was still John. Was still talking, but nothing crazy. I have a question in reference to our DBs.
Yeah, I was going to show that.
Can we discuss Bears DBs was one of the worst last in the fourth quarter, lack of discipline and understanding game situations. You also had a lack of talent.
Yeah.
I think you have more talent this year. And yes, the two rookies that you brought in are more talented than Kendall Fildor. I would argue that they're probably in Terrell Smith and Tyreek Stevenson. They're probably more versatile than Kyler Gordon is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just to me, that's going to raise the level of the room. When you have to cover for what other guys are doing on a consistent basis, when you have to cover – here's the main thing that's going to help them too. Guys are out of position. After 6 seconds, you have no choice but to be out of position. You find me a DB that's covering somebody for 6-7 seconds.
That's an eternity.
I mean, like, that's an eternity in football. So you're not going to see guys do well. You want to know what the Bears allowed last season as far as quarterback, or how many times the Bears were in the backfield causing pressure? Not much.
I was going to say that. They had no pressure last year. How many sacks as a team did they have last year?
I believe we had
was it 20?
I want to say we had 27 sacks as a team. We had a negative net we had 24 sacks as a team. We had a negative net 37 sacks last season.
Do you remember the Miami game last year? Tua didn't get touched.
Hey, bro.
Tua was sitting there making dinner. He was
oh, my bad. He left-handed. Hold up.
Let
me turn this way.
He was clean the whole time. They had no pressure. So, yeah, you can't you can't expect that's not going to happen. If we have talent now that can get pressure, at least just pressure. They didn't even pressure the guy.
We talking about pressure.
We didn't get hurries.
Pressure? Pressure?
Speaking of
we're talking about pressure.
Speaking of sacks, I guess this would be a good way to transition into this.
That was crazy.
That
was crazy.
Hey, that was crazy. Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. That was crazy. That was crazy, Cam. I'm not gonna hold you.
Shout out to Cam and Mace. Where y'all at with that one?
Pause, flag on the play. That was crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. But anyway, talking about a guy who could get to the QB at least. How about that? I just got to reword this. He only had 2 of them. Sacks, that is. Pause. Let's
It was just how you said it, bro. That was insane how you said it, dog. That was insane. Speaking of sacks, whoa. You gotta calm down.
Clowney. All right, Clowney. We're gonna talk about this dude. Hey, is his name Jadeveon? How do you pronounce his first name?
Jadeveon.
Is it changed now?
Jadeveon.
Yeah, he's Jadeveon. No, Clowney's an interesting one. I wanted to bring this question up because Bears still have a ton of money left. And for me, right, that means that you can still add assets to this team. Jadeveon Clowney, as a big money guy, is not the guy you want. But as a guy that can come in, rotate in, add pressure off of the edge, off of that opposite edge, should the Chicago Bears try and snag Jadeveon Clowney? He just went in for a meeting with the Ravens today. I understand that. But you still got money. And realistically, looking at the two defenses, Bears might be in a better position right now, just going forward. But again, it's all on paper. But should the Bears be looking to snag a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, boys, to add to this defense? Or are you good with the Unique Ngakoue, DeMarcus Walker, Justin Jones, Andrew Billings, and riding with the rookies?
Nah, this is still a stopgap. Shout out to my man, Drew Byman. What's happening, homie? Yeah, fresh bodies do lead to sacks. I mean, we can get more people, more fresh, or a better rotation, then, we can do something with that. I mean, Clowney, to me, he doesn't hurt. To me, it's just like the Yannick signing. It's a 1-year deal. So
for sure.
Why not stack up on these one? This to me says we can at least make the playoffs this year. We have expectations, and I'd rather that did we give up any picks, our first round pick for next year?
We have 2 first-round picks next year.
All right.
We have our pick and we have Carolina.
Right. So I know we have Carolinas. So we still have an extra one. So we have 2 number ones. And I was just going to say, like, our pick is not going to be worth anything if we get to at least a 20. I don't see this like Super Bowl contending type team, but at least we make it to the playoffs. So why not?
Depends. It depends, because it's weird, right? Because here's the thing. We got Carolina's pick. Carolina, our pick was what, 10th this year, right? That's what we took Darnell Wright, 10th.
Well, we traded down.
So 11th overall. 11th
Yeah.
overall.
We at 8. What were we at 8?
No, we were
No,
number
we was
1.
at 1. We
Right,
traded
we're
back
at
to
1.
10 with Carolina, and then we ended
Understand.
up with the
Yeah.
11th overall pick because we traded back one more time with Indianapolis. Right?
Say that again.
Was that Indy we traded with
No,
in
we
the draft?
No, we traded down with Carolina.
No, we traded with Carolina
Oh.
to get the number, for them to get the number 1 and us to get DJ Moore.
Right.
Remember, in the draft, we traded down one spot
With the Eagles.
with the Eagles.
Yeah.
Did them
Right,
a
'cause
solid,
that's-
right?
Yeah, because that's
So
when
we
they got
traded
that
down
from.
one spot. We don't go get Darnell
Right.
Wright. But that was still a top 10 pick with 7 wins. That was a 7-win team last year. So I can't sit here and tell you one way or the other that like somebody's guaranteed to be top or bottom of the division because a 7-win team last year had the 10th pick in the draft.
I thought they got that from someone else. They were a Super Bowl contender. They had traded. I thought they had Miami's pick.
I think they had that too. That's why that's why they were willing to trade it.
That was that pick. Yeah, 7 and
But
10.
Miami's pick wouldn't have been high last year. Miami was a good football team.
I don't think they did that well, from what I remember.
Who? Miami?
They had someone else's pick. They were
Once they got
they went to the Super Bowl. They didn't have their pick. That pick was 32 or whatever.
No,
Or 31.
Oh, you talk about Philly. I'm not talking about Philly. I'm saying Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Carolina's pick.
Yeah.
Yes, the pick that Philly
Carolina's
traded
pick was
Miami's
9th.
pick. Carolina's pick. Oh, so he was 10th, whatever it is. Carolina's pick was 9th. We traded down for the 9th pick, right?
Correct, to get to 10.
What I'm saying is they had the 9th pick with 7 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is, if the Bears are a 7-8 win team this season, 9-win team, whatever it is, it really just depends on where the rest of the league is because there's so much, there's so much mediocrity. You think about it, you got your top teams, then everybody else that's in the playoffs now is like 9-8, 10-7, right? Like that's the middle of your pack right now.
Well, it's more about the parity. Every year, injuries, whatever, coach changes. The Bears, technically, I think they actually have the position. They're in position to really probably break out. I mean, this team could really do something.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's not going to just be on this defense to do something. I mean, if they do what they did last year with Fields, and he's just moderately better in passing, and then this defense is actually able to hold and sustain drives, it looks like we were the number 1 team in rushing, right?
Yeah.
So just imagine he can actually hit some of those guys. Some of those balls that got dropped, where they across the middle, there were certain key moments that these receivers were dropping passes. If we are able to change those, if we don't have the Velus Jones fumbles and we don't have some of those,
It's so funny.
I mean, we don't have some of those errors like that. We were in a lot of games, and I think they just basically tanked and was like, you know what, we're going to shut this down.
Man, I hope Velus make my cut 'em tape look like a straight moron because to me, right, like he's had a great camp, but it's just one of those things where it's like, man,
It'll never look bad, Pat, because he
Prove me-
looked bad that season.
Hey,
Real bad that season.
hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's all I say. But at the end of the day, right, like, would you guys take Jadeveon Clowney on a low money deal?
I would take him as a as a stockpile, some talent.
I think
What's
'cause
low money?
I mean, Justin Houston got what? What did Justin Houston just get?
I don't know, but Justin Houston
I
led the league. Didn't he lead the league in sacks last year or something?
Ain't no way he led the league in sacks.
No, he went
last year.
crazy. He had a
Myles
great
Garrett
year.
had 16 sacks last year. It ain't no way.
He had a great year last year.
He did have a great year. I'm not denying
He
that.
signed a
He
1 year,
had-
$7
he was on the
million
Ravens, right?
contract.
He had 9.5 sacks last year. You said he signed what, kid?
This says he signed a 1 year. This is Sport Trek, by Spot Trek, Sport Trek, whatever. 1 year, $7 million contract.
Okay. Probably with some incentives, all that in there. So 1 mil, 7
It's a 1
or 1 year,
salary.
7 mil. Y'all want to know who Jadeveon Clowney is not? He's not as good as 35-year-old Justin Houston.
I just remember
He had 2 sacks last year. You know what I mean? But I also think that the situation in Cleveland kind of ended up deteriorating, basically. Can you get him in here for a $5 million deal? Because I think that's the thing right now. Jadeveon doesn't have an option.
he's a 9-sack
A guy who
dude.
we all believe is better than you and had a better season last year than you did just signed for $7 million 1 year. I got this 1 year, $5 million deal, and the $5 million probably has some incentives for you to get to the 5.
How much
he
cap
played?
space do we?
I
I think we still got $25 million under the cap.
Then,
Yeah,
listen, then why are we holding on to this money? We can't take it with us.
I mean, you can actually. Yeah, we actually hit.
Listen, it's a 1-year deal.
No, I'm saying we actually can take this money with us. Like we could roll it over into
I
next
know we can.
season.
You get what I'm trying to say. Like if we don't use it and it just sits there and we just had 25 million that we didn't use to shore up anything else. It makes no sense. It's just dead money at that point. Use the money. Make those soldiers work.
No,
money is a tool to
I
use.
think
it's not dead money. Like it literally can like roll over into next season. You can
but if it's a 1-year deal, you get that money back anyway, theoretically, if you follow me.
I get you.
Yeah, he was hurt, or maybe he was hurt. He only played like 10 games. He played in 12. He started 10 of them, and he had 2 sacks last year. But he had 9 sacks.
Hey, in 12 games, you shouldn't have 2 sacks. You know what I mean? Like,
well, we don't know if he was,
games.
but he might have been hurt, and then you're
Yeah.
not the same dude. Like he might have had. He had 9 sacks the year before that.
Yeah,
he didn't do nothing. He didn't do anything in Tennessee. He had 3 sacks in Seattle, and he had 9 sacks. He had a pair of 9-sack seasons against Houston. So he's an average, defensive end. But I'll take 9 sacks for $5 million. Yeah, why not?
I mean, here's the thing: you have to sign him with the theoretic thought process that he probably might not get that again.
Yeah,
maybe you get 5, maybe you get. But to me, right, he's a guy that, and somebody said it in here, a one-trick pony. I really do think he is a one-trick pony, but he's a guy that creates pressure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt for 1 year we know we're still going to go in the draft. We know we're still going to build, and if we can shore up the O-line and the D-line in next year's draft, because we now have a quarterback and he works out, that we're winning.
Yeah.
So I love it. We're in a great spot. I mean, shout out to King Poles.
Shout out to King Poles, man. Appreciate Ryan Poles for rebuilding this team in a way that we can feel confident about it coming into the season. I like what the Bears have, man, coming into this training camp. I'm really excited about where this team is heading. I'm really excited. I know everybody's kind of worried about what we're seeing on the offensive side of the ball. I will say this as well, and Tom Waddle to me said this best today. Don't worry about what you're seeing offense versus defense this week, because they're not scheming anything. And they've said this multiple times. They're not scheming anything for anybody that's there. They're literally just going through the motions. They're literally just, hey, we got our set of plays, you got your set of plays. Let's go out there and make a play. When we get the Indy next week, watch those practices closely. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to be there in person for that. I really wanted to see if I could finagle that, but I really wanted to.
They're going down there.
They're going to be practicing in Indy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to finagle that one. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I was like, man, I want to see it. But we're gonna have Jason McKee over on the Chicago Bears podcast, so I'll be able to bring back some intel for y'all, man, and we'll keep that flying around as well. Anything else that we got, Joel? Anything else that we want to hit on? Anything catch your eye in the national media?
And at the moment, nothing is. We're trying to get everything going.
I saw that. Yeah, for real. This is the toughest time of year, dog, because it's just like, all right, training camp, here we go. We got this. All right, let's keep this going. And we wait.
Right.
Because realistically, this week of training camp has been so much of the same.
Yeah.
It's been like, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. That's what I want people to understand too. Like, it's been like, well, that was consistent with what we saw yesterday.
I guess the question would be, since you're able to get there and see the practices, we know the defense is going to be fine. It's really, what are your takes on that offense? Are you seeing some type of things that show that is Justin extending the pocket some more? Is he kind of staying in the pocket? Like, what little things are you seeing on how they're using him to, and the personnel? Are we seeing Kmet with Tunyon? Are we seeing 3 receivers out there? Like, are you seeing any type of sets like that?
Yeah. No, I do want to see that, because for me, right, there's so much that we've seen with Justin where I'm saying, by the way, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel, Monday through Friday. We're live here, so stay in tune with us, man. Also got the podcast up on the podcast side. The one thing that I will say that we can't tell in the slightest from what we've seen from Justin Fields and DJ Moore and the offensive line as a whole is how many of these plays Justin would have took off on.
Yeah.
because it feels like it's gotten to a point where it feels like they're forcing themselves. Justin's forcing himself to stay in the pocket because he wants to make a pass. He wants to be able to, you know what I mean? Like that's what it feels like we're at right now.
Right.
And so I'm not sitting here losing my mind yet on what the offense is because I still want to see. I know people want to see Justin just stand back there and sling that thing and get his head taken off while he's passing it as he throws a nice pass. But I would rather see Justin stay out of harm's way if that means him using his legs, getting a first down and sliding or taking it easy underneath, which we've seen a ton. That's really what I want to see from this Indianapolis practice.
Yeah.
But hey, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. As always, man, P-Kid had to jump up out of here, but we're going to keep this thing right here, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Tomorrow, we'll finish this week out with – there is no practice tomorrow, but we'll give you guys kind of a preview for the game, I guess. Do we really care? Do we really care about a preview for the Tennessee game? But hey, we'll give you guys that. Gervon Carter's wearing number 5, by the way, a little update there. I don't think we have anything else really to hit on. So I'm going to get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again, joined by the super producer, Joel Holt. And the pettiest man alive was here, but he dipped out. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love. Peace.